Well, good afternoon. It is October the 21st. Wow. Fall is really getting on. And it's been cold here the last few nights. And so, well, I've taken my little babies inside at night. I just thought I'd provide you with a little update for my black Madera babies. I made a couple of videos about them. No big deal. Just I thought it would be interesting. Now I was a little late air layering these, and I air layered them uncharacteristically after the summer solstice. Not long after, but right after. And I would never recommend that because, I don't know, maybe it's just an old farmer's superstition, or maybe it has a lot to do with the cycles of nature, which I think probably is more evidently true. It seems like when you plant things before the solstice, you get better results. Before the summer solstice, that's my rule, but I broke my own rule, as I sometimes do, being human like the rest of us. But still, notwithstanding these little baby black Madera, they're wonderful. And I just thought that you would want or enjoy a progress report on them. You can see that they are disease-free. They have no virus, big mosaic virus. They have nothing. They just are purely beautiful and clearly healthy. And they're growing very nicely. Take a look. Now remember, being black Madera, I mean, they're not enormously vigorous to start with, like some cultivars, namely, for example, brown turkey. But it doesn't matter. I have found that they grow very nicely. And I don't have any problem propagating them. I have no problem growing them. Disease-free, they're productive. And I've got several videos that extensively go into detail about black Madera in 7A in my zone, and I've had all good luck. All my black Madera, practically all of them, have ripened. As you will see in my previous videos, I've eaten almost all. I have a couple stragglers. A couple stragglers are 258. A Genovese Nero, which is 258 in my opinion. There we go. And I've got Figo Preto, which is very, very, very close to black Madera, with some not too material or significant differences, variations in my opinion. It's the way it grows, the profile of its physique, if you will, are essentially, well, I shouldn't say essentially, slightly different. In any case, I just wanted to show you that you can do it too. These are my baby black Madera, which I am taking in now at night because it's just a little too chilly. Because I'm trying to get the root systems to become better established. The better established these root systems become before they go to sleep, and I'll be putting them to sleep soon, the better will be their chances of survival. Their survivability depends on your preparations for wintertime, at least in my zone. And I have come to realize that, and it's a very, very important factor in successful propagation of any kind of any kind of fig, and most likely any kind of fruit tree in my area. So I want the roots to become as well established as I possibly can get. You can see these are very firm, very firmly established. The roots are really, I know that the roots are really well established. And I don't have any reservations whatsoever about putting them to sleep soon. However, on a day like this, where it's in the 70s and sunny, and here down on the ground level, it's downright warm. why not let them have some more sun, and why not let those roots further develop, spread out more, and guaranteeing or ensuring that they will have a better chance of survival throughout the long winter. Now, how will I put these to sleep? Well, quite frankly, what I will do is I'll wait. If the Indian summer continues, I will put them out every day like this and just let them continue to develop the root structure. And if it starts getting really cold and I know it's time, I'll leave them out at night. Hopefully it won't be a night where it will frost, but just be chilly, and I'll get like a week of that. And all of a sudden they'll start to yellow, and they'll start, you can see that they get the message. And then maybe I'll let a light frost on the side of the building up against the gazebo or someplace where they get maybe a partial protection. I'll put them there and let that frost come in, and then I'll just evaluate them the next day, and I'll wait until they slowly go to sleep without doing any major damage. Now you'll notice that this is very well developed wood, and there's very little green, but there's some green, and I don't want to lose that. So I will be careful in exposing them to a frost, and I will try to ameliorate the effects of the frost by keeping them somewhat close, like under the eaves of a building or something, the house, near the brick. Let the frost come in, a few frosts, and when they go to sleep, when I can tell they're falling asleep, then I'll put them in shelter for the winter time and keep them cold. And when I keep them cold, I mean cold but not freezing. And I will also make sure that they are not, and this is so important, I don't know how many little fig plants like this have died because of too much watering in the wintertime. And trust me when I tell you, please, or too little. And I think it's more often the latter than the former, because I have seen very often where people think that they can just put these trees away for the wintertime and maybe water them once during the winter or twice. You can't do that. You have to keep the soil moist, not wet, but moist. And so my method, and everyone might have their own, but my method, which is, it seems successful for me, is to water them well. Not a little bit on the top, not a half a cup, not a cup, none of that, none of it. None of that business. I water them. I water them good, okay, with warm water. I don't want to shock them. And not real warm, but, room temperature water. And I'll let it go down. And I know that the entire medium has been moisturized, moist. And after they're watered completely, the trick is, don't water them again until you lift them up, actually lift them, and you can tell, you can feel how late they are, or if they need, and there's other ways of telling too. You can just move the soil around on the surface and you can tell if there's any moisture in there. You could take a little bit of tissue paper and put it down deep and see how much it absorbs. I have little methods that I use. I'll go into more detail another time. But the point is, you can tell that it's not too wet, and you can tell that it's not too dry. You never want them to get too dry. Never, 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 never let them get too dry. And don't let them stay too wet, because they will get root rot. They will die. They will not survive. But with any effort by your part, a conscientious effort to keep them just moist, wet them thoroughly, let them dry for 3 weeks, a month even sometimes. If it's dead of winter, if it's January, you might go 3 weeks, 21 days, you could possibly go 30 days. But sooner or later, you're going to know that they need water, and give it to them. Give them water. Don't let them be thirsty. If you were a parent, you wouldn't let your little child be thirsty, would you? I certainly wouldn't. I wouldn't let my little puppy. Hey, where did you go, by the way? I don't know where she went to. Oh, there she is. Oh, okay. All right. Come on over here. Come on over. Hey, come on over. Come on. Just talking about you. Anyway, where was I? I would never let my little puppy go thirsty. I would never let a child go thirsty. Why ever would anyone let a fig plant or any kind of plant, which is dependent on you entirely for its moisture source, why would you not give your tree or plant water when it requires it? This is just an enigma to me. It's so confoundingly confusing that I don't know, it's befuddling. I just don't understand it. And I would hope that you wouldn't do this and just keep after your trees and care for their wants and their needs. That's essentially the entire science of how to be, honestly, a successful grower of anything. I don't care if it's organic strawberries, if it's organic fig trees, any kind of other fruit or any other kind of garden produce, And I think in life in general, that's a good philosophy to use almost everywhere. It's a good strategy to utilize in almost every endeavor. Be responsible, be diligent, be attentive, and provide things with what they need in order to maintain efficiency, order, and success. It's as simple as that. Okay? That's my formula. And so I don't want to bore you any further with these wonderful, cute little trees. I certainly love them. Look how healthy they are. Aren't they beautiful, though? I'm sorry for my over-enthusiasm, but I'm very enthusiastic about everything figs in my universe, and including these little babies, these little baby black Maderas. I'm not much on expanding my fig collection anymore. In fact, I'm shrinking it, and I've made videos about that. And I advise in certain instances that other people perhaps follow my example in that regard. But I do like certain successful varieties, cultivars, and I am interested in maintaining them and weeding out the less impressive varieties, less suitable. And I found that black Madera in my zone is suitable, and I get plenty of delicious figs from it, as you will see in my videos. In another video, perhaps I'll name all of my videos that talks about this extensively. But I have several that specifically talk about black Madera in the title. And if you're interested in this variety, look at those videos. I welcome you to do that. And this is certainly a worthy cultivar. And so I've never air layered them before. I had no need. I had several. One time I did, and it worked out beautiful. And it's a pretty little tree. But other than that, a couple years ago, I just haven't been interested in expanding because I have several. And now I have 3 more. And I'm a very proud father. I'm a very proud father of these 3 very, very lovely black Madera trees. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. You can see how wonderfully healthy they are. And that's easy too. Just use common sense, use the proper ingredients. I should talk a little bit about what's in the soil mixture, but essentially, I did before, it is just simply Miracle-Gro, the very best Miracle-Gro. And I did add additional lime and calcium. And I did put a little bit of Epsom salt, which I like in my mixtures, and a little bit of extra iron. I like iron, a little bit of iron, liquid iron. And let's see, no extra fertilizer at all. And that pretty much, I think, was the mixture for these. And I did add a little bit of well composted horse manure. I did add that, but it's well composted, at least a year. Okay, and I think that's essentially what I did. I have my own little mixture. I like a certain weight so it holds moisture, but not too much moisture, and doesn't promote dryness as much as some of the other potting mixes do. I also, in my larger plants, put topsoil, but it's topsoil that's been separated for a whole year from any other topsoil, so I know that there are no nematodes in it. And in that topsoil, I also add the well-rotted horse manure and the calcium and all of the things I just talked to you about, the Epsom salt and the iron, the calcium, things of that nature, and lime, a good portion of lime. I like lime in my soil. But I also put soil in my potting mix, in my larger trees, because I have found that they like it better. It's a more natural medium, and also it adds water retentive qualities, okay, that are very, very important. I like a little bit heavier. I know I hear people say, "Oh, well aerated and they're real light, and and the water will drain." Well, that's okay if that's what you like, and if that's what you succeed with, wonderfully, that's wonderful. But especially with my larger trees, I like a heavier potting soil, and one that really mirrors a real earth condition better. I have several tapes out on that if you want to look at them. But I really truly do believe in that formula. It took a long time, many years, to come up with a formula that I really felt was satisfactory to me, okay, and that produced the very best results. Everyone, has a different idea about potting mixes, and people have their own successes and their own preferences, and that's fine. That's wonderful. The whole idea of making videos and putting them on YouTube and sharing them with the viewing audience is to spread around ideas that you may like or may be applicable to your specific situation, wherever your zone is, and whether you grow in ground or in containers, so on and so forth, and maybe it won't be as applicable. Okay, so you disregard what isn't applicable, and hopefully you incorporate what is. That's the whole functionality of what's going on YouTube, I think. That's what makes it, so I think worthwhile to pursue, because people are sharing ideas, some of which might be good for some and not as good for others, and so we separate them. We determine what is best for ourselves. We make our own decisions. We govern, our future behavior, and we decide what our methods are going to be. This just works for me. It might not work for you, and what works for you might not work for me. So that I think that I think is a fundamental truth, okay, an irrefutable truth that we should always observe open-mindedly. Okay, I had so much fun today. I hope you did. What a beautiful day. It's just lovely, 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 lovely. This wonderful fall day. It's just magnificent. And I still have plenty of persimmons and things to eat. I should get up and show you my persimmons trees. They're so loaded and so full of fruit. And it's just a wonderful time of year, but I just wanted to make this video about this one subject only today. Thank you for visiting. I always appreciate it so much. I hope you have fun like I did. I'm having a wonderful time. It's a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'm enjoying myself. I hope you were impressed with my baby black Maderas as much as I am, and I look forward to seeing them grow into mature adults and be productive and successful as they usually are. With that, good day.